grew up in an Air Force family. My dad was a colonel in the Air Force and a lawyer. He worked for the comptroller, which is kind of damage control for the military. So wherever there was trouble in the world, that's where we would go. We moved every 2 years. My father was an angry person. He put on a good show for everybody. But when he came home, he was, just a tyrant. I remember the day there was a lot of trouble in the house because my father was running around with other ladies. Me and my brother knew something was going on. My mom and dad, they were arguing, but they would go in their room. It was pretty scary, really. He eventually beat my mom to death. My dad told us that your mom had an accident, but even as a young third grader, I knew that was no accident. I knew he killed her. It was very traumatic for me. After my mom passed, my dad remarried a lady that he already had a child with. So me and my brother, we were kind of pushed out of the family, and we were treated very badly. It was hard growing up in that kind of atmosphere. I knew that there were loving families out there, and I realized I just was not in one. And I did really well in school, but started using drugs and alcohol to feel better. And eventually I was checked into a mental hospital because my folks didn't want me. And he's like, "You don't live with us, and you are now a ward of the state." I think I was 15, 16. It was devastating. I turned to the wrong crowd, but I always managed to keep a job, pay the rent. I know what's important. But eventually I ended up in prison, and I used that time to regain my integrity and my dignity. It was hard when I got out of prison because starting over is pretty tough. You can't get an apartment without a job. What was wonderful for me is when I found Foundation Communities and they gave me a chance where nobody else would. And I really love it here. It is so nice and it's safe. We have a lot of nice things here at Capitol Studios. When I first got here, I would use the computer rooms quite a bit. And we have a little gym. That's a wonderful place to go work out.
Good morning.
Today, I went to the food pantry, and I could make that last for 3 weeks, what they gave me.
Thank you.
And I'm very grateful for that. The Foundation Communities has what we call the Supper Club. Different organizations will bring a meal and we'll share it all together. It's nice to be welcomed by the other tenants. I'm accepted. I'm part of the community. And it's always a good time. I always try to make that. And I've been diagnosed with depression. And we got me on the Prozac, and everything started looking up from there. I have a case manager here at Capitol Studios that will help me get to the doctor on time and remind me to go get my meds. I think it's really helped me stay on track. And I just feel like, somebody cares about me. Eventually, I got steady work, and I've gone from minimum wage to I'm making $14 an hour now. So, I've come a long way. When I found Foundation Communities, it really helped me turn my life around. Having a home, having a place where I'm safe, it just has given me the ability to grow and be a better person. And it's given me hope. So I'm on my way up. I feel good. I feel like a success story.
I grew up in East Texas. My parents were both educators. I have 2 older brothers, and when I was very young, life was good. And then when I was 6, my mother passed away. My father was left with 3 young children to raise, and so he just became distant, and it was rough. And so at the end of my sophomore year, my aunt and my uncle asked for me to go and stay with them in Kansas. And at the end of the summer, it was decided that it was best that I did not return home to live with my father. And as a result, he signed his parental rights away. When I found out I wasn't going to be returning home, I made the best of the situation and graduated early. And I went to the military at 17. I met Jesse while I was in the military, and we started having a family. So we had my daughter, and then 10 months later we had my son. And then shortly after, I found out I was pregnant with my youngest one, and it was busy, but it was very happy time and exciting in our lives. My second child had severe asthma, and it was very difficult on Jesse's and mine relationship. Jesse became distant, and then one day we found out that he had another family, a girlfriend, and a child with her. It was devastating. And so I came to Texas on my own with the newborn, and my other two children were 1 and 2. Trying to find childcare for 3 small children and not having a job is difficult. I knew they needed a place that was safe and that they could call home, but trying to find an affordable place to live was looking slimmer and slimmer. Until we were able to find Foundation Communities and start our home here.
Bless us, our Lord, and these are gifts we're glad to receive from the bounty of Christ our Lord. Amen.
And it was nice, it was clean, it was up to date, the schools were great, and it was in a good neighborhood, and it was affordable. So that made a huge difference for us. My children attend the after-school program that is provided here on property. They actually have programs that are benefiting the children. They have homework time, they have tutors that are available, and if someone's struggling, they pick it up immediately.
Very good.
And there's summer programs, and they go on field trips. So they get these other enriched experiences that I couldn't do for them right now. They also have programs for adults who are trying to do better for their families. They have nutrition classes. They have Zumba over at this location. They have the money management classes, which I did. And it's a service that comes because you live here. So it's a huge benefit. Because the housing is affordable, I was able to return to school to get my MBA, which allowed me to get a better paying job with the VA and gives me the flexibility of working from home. Without Foundation Communities, I don't know if I would have had the luxury of returning to finish my degree. And they have a match savings program, which is really great because for every $1 you put in, they match it with $2. And we have used it to start our own small family dump truck business. And that is our additional income that we're saving to buy a house.
You go first.
Because of our experience with Foundation Communities, our family are able to reach our goals. My children want a house that they can graduate high school in and a home to come home to when they come home from college. But to them, this is always going to be their childhood home. And they love it, and they're gonna be sad when we go. But they're excited that this is where they grew up. And without Foundation Communities, I'm not sure what their childhood would have looked like.